What's up, family? Welcome back to Evolve Daily, where we grow through what we go through, with truth, growth, and clarity. Let's continue the conversation from part 1. We talked about how difficult it can be when people, often in relationships or close circles, struggle with accountability. When called out, they shut down, flip it back on you, or try to rewrite the whole situation. That's frustrating. But today, let's flip the script and talk about how you can lead by example. Because healing and maturity don't start with them. It starts with you. You see, we can't control how other people show up. We can't force them to take responsibility or have difficult conversations. But we can shift the dynamic by how choose to respond. So let's dive into some practical ways you can master accountability and inspire those around you to do the same. Think about a time when someone called you out on something. Maybe they criticized something you did, or maybe they were hurt by something you said. What was your initial reaction? Did you immediately jump into defense mode? Did you feel that surge of wanting to explain yourself, justify your actions, or maybe even point the finger back at them? That's the ego talking, my friends. It's a natural human response. But maturity, true growth, reveals itself in the pause. It's in that space between the stimulus and the reaction where transformation happens. So, the next time someone brings something to your attention, especially if it's criticism, I want you to take a breath. Don't react just yet. Create that space for yourself, that pause. And in that pause, ask yourself this. Is there even 5% truth in what they're saying? Just 5%? It might not be the whole picture. They might not be expressing it in the best way. But is there a kernel of truth there that you can acknowledge? If there is, own it. That 5% is where the growth lives. Because here's the thing. Defensiveness blocks us from truly hearing what the other person is saying. It shuts down the conversation and it prevents us from connecting on a deeper level. But when we can pause, breathe, and look for that 5% truth, we open ourselves up to understanding, to growth, and to a more authentic connection. It's not easy. Our ego wants to protect us, wants to keep us safe from feeling any discomfort, but real strength lies in leaning into that discomfort and being able to say, you know what, I see where you're coming from, I can see how that landed, and I'm taking responsibility for my part. That's what it means to lead by example. That's how we create a ripple effect of accountability and growth in our relationships. Have you ever noticed how often we use the word "but" when someone's trying to communicate something to us, especially when it comes to feedback or criticism? We say things like, I'm sorry you feel that way, but you started it, or I understand what you're saying, but you have to see it from my perspective. The word "but" is dangerous, my friends. It's a conversation killer. It's a wall we put up that invalidates the other person's feelings and experiences. Why? Because what comes after "but" is usually our justification, our explanation, our way of shifting the blame. It's like we're erasing everything they just said and replacing it with our own narrative. So here's a powerful shift you can make. Replace, but with "I hear you." Instead of, I'm sorry you feel that way, but you started it, try this. I hear you that you felt hurt by what I did. That wasn't my intention, but I understand how it landed. Do you feel the difference? When you say, I hear you, you're acknowledging their feelings. You're validating their experience. You're creating a space for open and honest communication. This doesn't mean you're agreeing with everything they say. It doesn't mean you're taking all the blame. It simply means you're choosing to listen with empathy and understanding. You're choosing to see things from their perspective, even if you don't fully agree with it. And that's huge. Because when people feel heard, they're more likely to open up. They're more likely to let down their guard. And that's when real connection can happen. That's when we can start to work through challenges together, from a place of understanding and respect. Remember, accountability isn't about being perfect. It's about being present, being open, and being willing to see how our actions impact others. And sometimes, it's as simple as replacing one little word. Chapter 3. Don't match energy. Set the tone. We've all been there. Someone comes at us with anger, with blame, with accusations. Maybe they're yelling, maybe they're being passive-aggressive, but their energy is charged, and it's easy to get swept up in it. It's natural to want to match that energy, to defend ourselves with the same intensity. But here's the thing, when we match negativity with negativity, we're just adding fuel to the fire. We're escalating the situation, and we're preventing any real resolution from happening. True strength, real growth, lies in our ability to stay grounded in our own energy. To meet that negativity with calmness, with understanding, even with love. This doesn't mean we become doormats. It doesn't mean we tolerate disrespect. It means we choose to respond, not react. Think of it like this: you're a clear, still lake. Someone throws a rock into the water, creating ripples and disturbing the peace. You have two choices. You can throw a rock back, creating even more chaos, or you can let the ripples settle and return to your state of peace. That's what it means to set the tone. When someone is coming at you sideways, you don't have to stoop to their level to prove a point. You can calmly and firmly bring the conversation back to a place of respect. You can say things like, "I hear what you're saying, but I need you to speak to me calmly," or "I understand you're upset, but I'm not going to have this conversation if you continue to yell at me." It's about setting boundaries, about protecting your peace, and about creating a space where healthy communication can occur. Remember, you're not responsible for their reaction, but you are responsible for your response. Chapter 4. Surround yourself with people who welcome growth. Who are you surrounding yourself with? Take a look at the people you spend the most time with, the people who have the biggest influence on your life. Are they people who value growth, who are open to feedback, who are willing to admit when they're wrong, or are they stuck in their ways, defensive and resistant to change? Here's the thing: our environment has a profound impact on our growth. If you're constantly surrounded by people who refuse to take accountability for their actions, who deflect blame and make excuses, it's going to be much harder for you to break free from those patterns yourself. It's like trying to grow a garden in toxic soil. No matter how much you water it, no matter how much sunlight you give it, it's not going to thrive. But when you plant yourself in fertile ground, when you surround yourself with people who are committed to growth, to learning, and to evolving, something magical happens. You start to flourish. Accountability is contagious. When you're in a relationship, a friendship, or a community where people are willing to own their mistakes, to apologize, and to do better, it creates a culture of respect, trust, and vulnerability. It becomes safe to be imperfect, to make mistakes, and to know that you'll be met with compassion and understanding. So, if you're always the one doing the work, the one reflecting, evolving, and apologizing, but the people around you aren't meeting you halfway, it might be time to reassess those relationships. Because you deserve to be surrounded by people who inspire you to be better, who challenge you to grow, and who hold you accountable with love and respect. Remember, you can't force anyone to change, but you can choose who you allow into your life. Choose wisely. Outro evolve through accountability. Look, accountability is uncomfortable. It takes real emotional strength to say, yeah, that was on me. But when you do that, something powerful happens. Trust grows, communication improves, you mature. And here's the truth: people will notice. Even the ones who deflect will start to feel the shift, because your energy holds them to a new standard. They'll see the calmness in your responses, the clarity in your communication, and the strength in your vulnerability. If you're trying to grow, build healthy relationships, and break old cycles, this is the work. It's not always pretty, but it's always worth it. Drop a comment below. What's one area of your life you're trying to take more accountability in right now? And if this message hit home, like, share, and subscribe to Evolve Daily, where we're not here to be perfect, we're here to grow, evolve, and elevate every single day.